Hello everyone. Before we start today's video, if you could all do me a solid and lightly tap the like button, perhaps share the video about and leave a comment. If you are not subscribed, subscribe as well. It would greatly help this channel. Thank you very much. Well, isn't this just fantastic? Captain's Log, subdates 22.1.124.7. What I love the most about having a Discord server is all the pay pig monkeys doing all the pokey breeding and trading for me. Saves me a lot of time, which in turn means my laziness truly has no limit. Thank you patrons for helping me with this. I'd like to complete at least one Pokédex in my lifetime. Welcome everyone to the exhibition of stupid people. Sorry for the visual you see today, I have a friend visiting and my time is limited, but I do want to make content and I'm a regular producer. To start, we're going to go with the reformed group N-Dubz. They do like R&B, not really my music, but I do remember at the later end of the first decade of the 21st century, they were quite popular. Dappy, one of the members of the group, very well known for his appearance on Nevermind the Buzzcocks, because he looked like a twat with a hat on. He, his cousin, and I believe the cousin's ex, formed a trio, did music, 3 albums, very successful in fact, but went their separate ways to do solo careers, none of which did exceptionally well, with other groups reforming and making bank on the tour circuit along with any other album they might want to produce, which N-Dubz have pounced on, 4th album apparently dropping sometime soon. They're going to make absolute bank, which will help them cover the debts they've undoubtedly accrued over the years of being irresponsible idiots, Dappy more notably. They were recently meant to play at the Nottingham Motorpoint Arena. It's a fairly sizable venue. I say meant to because they didn't. But they didn't at the most inopportune moment. When you go to cancel a gig, what you don't want to be seen doing is cancelling it very close to the date itself. It is bad optics. Accidents do happen, and of course, some things can't be avoided, prevented perhaps. Doubly worse to that is when you do it, I'd say a few hours away from them being on stage. But it gets worse really. You don't do it once the support act has finished playing. When the support acts are playing, the audience, the fans, the viewers, the paid customers are siphoning into that arena, especially when you have a capacity venue of 10,000, potentially 10,000 people filing into this event to watch a group they may have grown up on or still appreciate, only for them to cancel after the support act has paid. A lot of people will have undoubtedly travelled to Nottingham to go and see that, meaning they would have taken time off from work, which they may not be able to book off again. We'll get to why in a moment, which means they have wasted their money. The vast majority are not there to see the support act, are they? They don't go there to buy the merch of the support act for the most part. They are there to see N-Dubz. It does bring into question the level of intellect for those who go and watch such a group, but that's because I'm a metalhead and of course we are superior. Death to all.
But metal.
What had happened was, Dappy was ill. Not even a joke. He was ill. He was advised by doctors to rest and would be unable to perform, and apparently these 3 could not function as 2, or perhaps ask a support act who might well have been suitable to step in on Dappy's behalf, perhaps. The Motorpoint Arena had actually tweeted out at 9:12 PM, so N-Dubz weren't far from meant to be on stage at that point. We are sorry to announce that due to artist illness, tonight's performance has been postponed and will be rescheduled. I wonder why people booed and felt they'd been mugged off. What's interesting is, hours before the show, Dappy had been on Instagram saying that his voice was basically gone as a result of too many shows back to back. But the cancellation wasn't confirmed until after the support acts had performed. This has now been rescheduled for the 7th of December. I doubt many will go to that if they have to travel, because no way are they going to get extra time off during the month of December. Not many can. It is an incredibly busy month. Now yes, N-Dubz are really putting in a lot of effort here, and it undoubtedly speaks volumes about Dappy's inability to prepare, practice and perform for lengthy shows and make sure he protects himself as best as possible. It does speak volumes about that. But to reschedule in December, fam, come on. And what's interesting is you took the one day off, the next day you were in another place singing fine. I guess this is all quite embarrassing for N-Dubz, and understandably many people are quite irritated, I guess, when they see this on a screen as a way of cancelling the entire thing. How pathetic. Good luck with your comeback though. Next I want to talk about Brooklyn Beckham. Brooklyn Beckham is the oldest son to David Beckham and Skeletor. Unfortunately for him, unlike his father, he was unable to make it as a football player. Nothing wrong with that. Following in the footsteps of those we love the most is of course an honour, but we also want to forge our own path forward, which is what Brooklyn had tried to do. Unfortunately for Brooklyn though, he was unsuccessful, but this self-taught chef has decided that he's going to get involved in as many different things as he can, and whatever it is that does best for him, he will in turn that into his career. He comes across as Del Boy Trotter to me, a jack of all trades, master of none, a decathlete, except he can't actually do the athletics side of that. But he seems to blag his way to victory in his head. He's married to somebody incredibly wealthy from an incredibly wealthy family. Their wedding was quite well reported. Not that I want to touch on that in the slightest, nor the rift in the family itself, because I couldn't care less. Instead, I want to talk about why he's not a football player. Brooklyn has blamed something for his inability to become a football player, and it's not a lack of talent. No, it's something far simpler. It's because he's a Pisces, and sensitive, and has a lot of anxiety. This is what this self-taught chef has blamed as his inability to secure an Arsenal Football Club Academy scholarship when he was 15 years old. That was 8 years ago, and you blame it on a star sign? Well, I guess you didn't have to tell me you were simply a moron. In an interview, he had conceded that to simply try and live up to what his dad had accomplished had him realise that he just wanted to make a name for himself and work his own arse off because he's a Pisces and sensitive. To do this, he is launching a docu-series following his cooking aspirations. He's involved in sake now as well. Yeah, not even a joke. He's actually got his fingers in a few pies. The thing with the cooking is, like, he's done a fish and chip sandwich. It looks really fancy, but you can buy the fish he used from Iceland, battered. It's not overly complicated. His online video series is called Cooking with Brooklyn. He took 62 professionals to create each episode at a cost of around $100,000 each. Many people who are looking at this point out that he's got no experience or training, and it shows because he's clearly blagging it. But that's what happens when one is trying to be creative, or you have a very wealthy family who can prop you up, or because you've got someone you're married to that can throw the money at you when she talks to her dad. Who needs talent, right? Or training? Who needs to apply themselves when they can just do this? And if it doesn't work, it's okay, everyone. I'm a Pisces. Please, my anxiety. Bitch, please. I was born in the middle of January and I have anxiety as well. You know what I do for that? When my anxiety flares up, take the correct medication and then get on with my day. I could spend an entire video ragging on star signs, but that's not actually what bothers me. It's the fact that instead of just conceding he was not good enough to be a football player, he attributes it to being a Pisces sensitive and anxiety. The anxiety I could fully understand, considering what your dad accomplished for Manchester United, Real Madrid and LA Galaxy. The man had a star-studded career. Didn't he also go to that French club as well? PSV? Is that it? PSG? MSG? BCG? I don't care what they're called. I know he went to other clubs, and I know he did very well. He made a lot of money because he is good looking and he got a lot of sponsorships. When he opened his mouth, things didn't go so well. It was like Wayne Rooney as well. I think Cristiano Ronaldo also can fall in that bracket because he puts his foot in his mouth. To the final subject, I want to talk about the high-end fashion house Balenciaga. They recently published photos for their 2023 spring campaign. If you don't know who they are, recently they were in the news for severing contact with Kanye West, or Ye, who has been quite vocal since their mass cancellation everywhere. He has said some rather spicy things. We will not be drawn in on it yet. In that spring 2023 campaign, the published photos included some things that might not be very appropriate for the people who are in the photos. Balenciaga is also known for scrubbing their Instagram page, which they use heavily to promote their products as part of social activism efforts. And, some of those images of what have gotten them into hot water trouble. In a previous campaign, one of the photos showed a youngster close to copies of documents that detail Supreme Court cases that dealt with child pornography. This is their social activism efforts. Nice little Easter egg, subtle messaging. Yeah, it didn't resonate very well with, those who don't generally shop at Balenciaga. So what is it that's in the spring 2023 line that has gotten them into trouble and in turn has caused them to speak out a little? They posted this. Now at first, I didn't think anything of this first image. It just looked like an attempt of a goth person, emo person, that kind of area. It never occurred to me what I was seeing until I saw the second image, this one. And then I realized, hang on, hold up, is that kid holding a teddy in bondage? Are we sure we want to be promoting that? Are we sure we want kids near that? Now these teddies, these bondage-clad teddies, actually had appeared on the runway earlier this year, and they're actually handbags. But I won't deny on the face of it, it's not a good look for them. They use some of the most famous people on the planet to promote their brand, like Nicole Kidman, Bella Hadid, Kim Kardashian. Others do this, and the reason why is because there's a lot of money to be made in this. Much like with the child pornography documents, Balenciaga put out on Instagram an apology, this time saying, although the first line was very similar to the prawn apology, we sincerely apologize for any offense our holiday campaign may have caused. Our plush bear bags should not have been featured with children in this campaign. We have immediately removed the campaign from all platforms. Tell me you're an internet boomer without telling me you're an internet boomer. Those images are here forever. I guess what I really like is the fact that Sean Head yet again gets more promotion, which is great for YouTubers because it gives you more attention. She tweeted, the brand Balenciaga just did a interesting photo shoot for the new products recently, which included a very purposely poorly hidden court document about virtual child prawn. Normal stuff. If you want to promote your products, that's fine. Can you do what my server does and just issue a ban on featuring children? Because it's so much safer and prevents anyone from getting in any potential hot water. No guilt by association, and no risk of pissing off literally everyone that has an IQ over 1. So that could just be everyone that doesn't buy Balenciaga to begin with.